I'm Tom Dieters for JiuJitsuMania here with Marcelo Cohen, and want to talk about side control and north-south side control. So many people will use north-south, but I don't see it used effectively as much as maybe some people could, simply because they're maybe missing a couple of concepts which I'd like to share and talk about that might help you out. First of all, in Jiu-Jitsu, one of the things that we all notice is we work and fight with more advanced belts. A couple of things. You fight with a top brown belt, black belt, world champ, whatever, you're going to notice that the positions get tighter and tighter and the space gets less and less. That's a key observation, right? In the north-south position, so many times people will take their weight off their opponent and move and allow their opponent to escape, or they're going to miss an opportunity for a submission. So one of the concepts when we think about transitioning from side control, north-south, to opposite side control, think about smearing and dragging. We want to smear ourselves, we want to grind ourselves on our opponent, and we want to drag things with, like a big rake, in terms of backside arms, for Americanas, key locks, for arm triangles, or for Kimuras. So you don't need a lot of fancy techniques. A lot of times if you get somebody who's really good, you can just move through various phases of north-south and something will open up, right? So let's talk about that a little bit more. Okay, side control. First thing, again, side control should not be a game of strength. Okay, if there's guys, and there are 340-pound guys that I've been rolling with recently, their chest is about this tall. So if I try to do a chest-to-chest side control, they start bucking, I've got a big problem. Okay, so I want my knee in here. I always want to know where this guy's hips are. My elbow to control his hips. Doesn't take any gas. I'm not trying to squeeze him, but I'm staying firm on him. But I always want to reach this opposite shoulder, and I don't want to lean myself into him to put pressure on his jaw. I want to pull his jaw underneath me. Okay, so that's just a little pull. Doesn't take much in terms of strength, and just roll that shoulder in. My weight now, most of my weight, a little bit's on this knee, a little bit's on this knee, but most of my weight, say 80% of it, is just leaning like I'm leaning against a post talking to my buddy on his jaw. Okay, it calms a big guy down real quick, right? He doesn't have the hip moving anymore. He's not going to be bumping it as much anymore. So first, stabilize that position. He should not be able to have a comfortable conversation if you're doing it right, right? So if I'm going to move to north-south, first thing I want to do is keep this head stabilized. Block this hip. From that point, I'm going to be smearing. Look, subtle change. Look what my shoulder does. The first thing that happens is I don't want him to escape. So I'm going to calm him down by rolling my shoulder, putting pressure on that head and neck, right? And then transferring my weight. My weight now, right here, goes from here to here. Subtle change, but big difference in terms of results. So my weight stays here, my hand comes around, and I start grinding on my opponent. At the same time, this backside arm is staying tight against him, right? And I'm dragging and smearing this up his side, trying to get this backside arm up. At the same time, again, I've got my weight. My pivot point is his side of his jaw and his face. He's not liking this at all, right? So I'm pivoting on him, trying to isolate this arm, staying heavy on that face. Look, if I can catch this arm across for an arm triangle, that's wonderful. I might be able to for the first time, usually not. He might do what he just did, pull that arm out, which is great because he goes right into a key lock here. Okay, and we finish our opponent that way. Perfect position. Elbow planted in his ear. Okay. If we don't get either of those, if he's able to somehow defend, I keep going around. I'm in side control again. Same thing. Same thing. I pull him under, stabilize him. I'm going to go for my next turn. This time I'm going to focus on setting up the Kimura on this side. Block the hip. Again, grind on the face. All I'm trying to do is get this hand right here. That's all I need. At the same time, I'm working the same thing on this side to see which opens up. As I start to move, I've got my Kimura. Or I've got this arm up too. I can go to an arm bar. I can go to a number of different variations. The point of this little training segment we're doing is to get you to rethink your movement, how you're smearing yourself on your opponent, and how you're dragging to get your opponent to open something up so that you can tap them. Enjoy. Thank you, Marcelo.